Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom.
A quick YouTube search showed me that I'm not alone with this, but Mass Effect Andromeda really isn't that bad of a game, and for sure not the point the franchise should be over. All overdone, the negative press the game did get at release was certainly not a lie. With a lot of bugs and an ultimately rushed and unoptimized product, BioWare didn't make the best first impression for a new generation of Mass Effect games. However, now in 2018 I was prepared for a miserable experience playing through this, which I didn't have. In fact, I realized that I made a mistake skipping this game because of other people, cause in the end it deserves to be part of the Mass Effect IP, something dear to my heart. How did we get to Andromeda? After 3 games, we did almost everything possible in the Milky Way, more or less defeated the Reapers and solved every other problem in the galaxy pretty much along the way. What we needed, like the protagonist family in a horror movie, is a fresh start in a new neighborhood. No Shepard, no Normandy and a new crew, well, for the most part. Only the things that made up the core of the Mass Effect experience. Talking to people, shooting people, and discover new places, technology, species. Sometimes everything of this at once. So in a sense, Mass Effect Andromeda gets the spirit right, taking what you know and bringing it to an unknown galaxy. But if everything would be perfect, this video in this form wouldn't exist. If you look at the first, second and third game, you see that each takes an important role in the trilogy. Mass Effect 1. Learn about the universe and the danger threatening it. Mass Effect 2. Build a team, get ready and strike back. Mass Effect 3. Get ready for the showdown, unify your allies and beat the bad guys. So in a sense, Andromeda sets itself up perfectly.
We made it.
As the son of the human pathfinder, something like a leader figure and a problem solver for everyone, you expect the equivalent of the game. You and your sister are part of the initiative to colonize the Andromeda galaxy. After the 600 years of cryosleep, you wake up and realize that a massive energy cloud crashed your Ark, and the designated home planet doesn't look like the pictures in the brochure. Your first mission is also where the first problems manifest themselves. Remember Eden Prime? Cause BioWare sure does. I mean, think about it. In this opening, you get attacked by the Cat, a genetically altered race that wants to kidnap people and exalt them into their ranks. Yeah, I heard that before. Of course, in the ranks of said antagonists, you also get a good look at the champion, who will take the role of your nemesis. You are a rookie human that, while skilled, survives the mission by luck and gets promoted into a much bigger role with big shows to fill in. Check. On this planet, you find the remains of an old civilization that was much more advanced than anything the current universe knows about. Strike 3. Really, the biggest difference is the open world nature of the first mission. Obviously the idea is to get the player used to the new wide areas of the planets, as opposed to the linear shooting galleries of the old games. Let me tell you though, the first ground trip was not the place to do it however. The first encounter always should be a dense and highly story-driven experience, because it is immensely important to set up the world and tone of a 30-hour plus game. Jumping around in caves with varying texture details and the game just stopping to load environments aren't the best first impression. Even the music by John Pisano feels like a lesser version of the previous OSTs. I mean, it's not bad, it's alright. That's just not enough in comparison to some of the best soundtracks in gaming heard in 2 and 3, mixing Blade Runner-like synthesized beats with chilling, almost haunting pieces. Very much like Mass Effect 1, after the first mission you go to the Citadel Nexus and you officially become the hope of the universe, complete with a ship and a crew. At least in this game people believe you and do what you say, so you don't have to spend 2 games convincing a council, not caring for your evidence.
It's up to you if you're smart enough to listen.
I don't need this.
Like, really, after the first trip to the Nexus and getting the first crewmates, the game opens up and it starts to feel like a real Mass Effect game. The bugs and the first impression really were a shot in the foot for BioWare when it comes to review scores and general impressions on the internet. People started to hate the game without giving it a shot or even playing it in the first place. This resulted in bad sales numbers, cancelled DLC, and sadly the icing of the Mass Effect IP on a whole. Well, back to the mission. At the heart of the game is getting the Andromeda galaxy to a livable state for all of the Milky Way travelers. To this end, you travel to different more or less livable planets, you get the climate to an acceptable state using the old Remit weather tech, solve the biggest threats, be it cat or other life forms, and deal with a number of problems at the outposts you create. Your goal is to at least do enough quests to get the planet to 100% viability. Along the ride you pick up the usual new crew members, meet different allies and villains, and make small and big moral choices. So it's a BioWare game.
Pathfinder, a moment. I'm picking up Krogan life signs on board the ship. Several captives are being held not far from your location. They are scheduled for exaltation.
Damn, go be the rest of my missing scouts.
Sam, do we have time to get there before the Ket restore power?
If you act quickly.
Ryder, it's Reika. I'm pinned down. Don't think I'm gonna make it.
Where are you?
Near holding cells where they're keeping several of my people. They're still alive. I ordered Captain Hager back to the Ark.
You should be with him.
I couldn't leave my people. I had to try. And now, I think it's over. From one Pathfinder to another, farewell. Reika out.
Damn it!
There isn't time to save both. Once the Ket restore power, you'll be trapped.
Ryder, my scouts.
Life's simple. You make choices and you don't look back.
In the side missions there is a clear divide between actually context-full quests and MMO-like tasks to fill the world. So unless you're a completionist, it's pretty easy to figure out where to spend your time. Just the sheer amount of quests make the maps feel a bit overloaded, and I certainly prefer the old writing heavy style of questing. Also, maybe phase how many quests there are at any given time a little better, as I come to each planet like 30 times anyway. I swear, with these open worlds, less is more rings true. It's really weird to me how they decided driving on planets, which was one of the most hated things in the first game, is almost the thing you will be doing the majority of your time in Andromeda. They improved the driving aspects a lot from the old Marco days, but it still isn't as much fun as it should and could be. Also on a side note, playing Sudoku with the glyphs is one of my least favorite hacking minigames ever, and you can't tell me they didn't know that, as they just let you pay money to skip these, or just look them up online like I did. The planets themselves are okay at best. For being in a different galaxy, they're too standard. So you get your typical jungle, ice, desert and volcano maps, complete with your high-tech remnant vaults to explore. Really missed their chance to get creative with the locations. Especially on consoles, the game sometimes manages to look worse than 2 and 3 at times. A fact that is probably to the open world nature and rushed development cycle of the game. Sometimes the game manages to impress with cool art ideas, but sadly the plastic faces and vanishing or suddenly appearing textures are just not good enough for a game of this generation. Something much more important to me are the new aliens and cultures you learn about in Mass Effect, and yeah, they also dropped the ball here.
13, 14, oops! We didn't get to 15, Sean!
The only new race the galaxy has to offer are the Angara, who are okay, but really not interesting enough to warrant the complete lack of anything else. You actually get quite a few alien races taken away from you on an arc that will never see the Andromeda galaxy, and that almost hurts more. You really can't count the cat as I learn next to nothing interesting about them, and these bad guys are, spoilers, nothing more than a glorified Angara version of the collectors from 2. The cult-like religion undertone could have been interesting, but there is too little development in that section. I imagine it could have gone into an religion-based warrior race, like the elites from Halo. Probably wanted to go deeper with the idea in the second game. The quality of your crew reaches from bad copy to good party members plus boring humans. Something they can't seem to get right, despite doing so in the Dragon Age games. Like, come on, it's almost as if they can't write an interesting human without him or her being a sarcastic smartass. Well, let's do a roundup of the crew.
This is Cora. I'm at the cryo bay. Brace for a reset. Everyone okay?
This Miley Cyrus stand-in is at least inoffensive. While her character is boring, she at least doesn't annoy me. Still, I don't see a reason to take her with me on missions beside her loyalty ones. If she'd question your ability to lead more, at least you had something to argue about other than her self-doubt problems. But I guess BioWare were fearing people wouldn't like a girl talking back to you.
A neutron enters a bar and asks, "How much is a drink?" The bartender replies, "For you, no charge."
I can see why Dad told you to keep working on your humor.
Oh man, I love Evie. Joking aside, having an AI or robot companion which doesn't understand human emotion and Deus Ex Machina's dangerous situations is nothing new to the sci-fi genre, so it's all good. At worst uninspired, Sam is alright in my books. One thing I noted is that he talks about linking with the MC, enabling boosted reflexes, but you never get any gameplay or story segments highlighting this fact, which I found pretty odd.
Pathfinder, I'm scanning the unique signature from the drive core, but it's clearly not here.
Yeah, I got that part.
Which is why I specified clearly.
Sam, were you being sarcastic?
Not intentionally. However, I've noted that my response was regarded that way.
You know how new party members tend to look really cool funny when you meet them the first time to make you interested in them? He's the opposite of this, being super bland in the time running around with him during the first contact, to be outright dislikable during the final of the first mission, topping off with a now in my head famous quote.
I think I really pissed that one off.
Why? Because he's dead?
Maybe because I shot him in the face.
That's a joke line.
Any progress?
That's a joke that they put in and they forgot to delete it from the script.
Come on.
Holy shit.
He does get to an almost likable level later, but then it was too late for me and Captain Shirtless to hang out.
Can I show you something?
Nice.
Seen you around. Ben, right? Came here with a family, didn't you? Son still in cryo? I could pull some strings, get him to the front of the line.
Really?
Yeah, really.
They told me he wasn't essential, but I miss him.
I know. I got family too, Ben.
It's done. Addison's gonna kill me.
Finally a female Turian on our ship, capable black market dealer, information broker, cool, sometimes awkward and cute, subplot with her sisters entertaining, a great chemistry with everybody. Great character.
Let's get to it before there's any more Cat. That was pretty cool.
Huh. Well, yeah. Guess it was. Still haven't told me who you are.
He's a Grogan, so he's an awesome badass who fights things good. Great guy, funny how we got from a middle-aged Grogan to fully grown baby to ancient badass in the franchise. I guess at this point the only thing left would be a female Grogan who does science and is really bad at shooting stuff.
Nevertheless, right up?
Jarl is a true bro. I mean, he doesn't hold a candle to the OG bro, Garrus, but he is the next best thing. Naturally want a crew member from the new race to talk about them, and he is exactly that. Now I really think that his subplot with the alien hating Agarans could have been written a bit more exciting and less by the books, but it works. 4 out of 5 Garrus rating.
PB, I want to be with you. Only you.
Oh. Well, that was...
She is probably the character I'd be most interested to see where her arc goes in later games. The Asari has some serious trust issues and compensates that with humor. On account of her being pretty cute, she's probably a #1 romance option for male characters that don't want to date a boring human. I certainly did. Because best girl isn't into dudes.
I love you.
I don't care for the engineer. He's just boring like the shuttle guy in 3 and makes me miss the couple arguing in the engine room. Joker you are not, and certainly no Mordin. I think he has one funny scene in the whole game and that's it. I don't think they ever can create a Solarian as interesting as Golub Mordin.
My xenoscience studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the very model of a scientist Solarian.
I don't know why they gave us a second Asari. Maybe they thought it'd be funny to have the opposite Asari to PB character wise, but for me that didn't work. I didn't have a lot of interest to talk to her. As a side note, the game mentions how some Asari identify as a he. That could have been more interesting to explore. Just as a thought.
I'm really glad you volunteered to join our crew, by the way.
I am too. New galaxy and all. I'm honored to be here.
No, I mean, I think you're cute and I like seeing you up here.
Oh my goodness, writer.
Also, the accent. The accent is, I mean, it's not the only thing, but, okay, I should just go over there to the piloting thing.
Kill me now.
A cute redhead science-loving girl who easily gets flustered? What do you think? I love her, and she would have been my best girl if I'd known that she is into girls. Kinda the reverse Tali problem. Believing in God and being obsessed with science is a cool contrast. She is delightful. He would have probably played a bigger role in the DLC or the next game, as she spends like 85% of the game frozen. Would have been interesting in how they developed the character, but in this your sibling is more a plot device than anything. I enjoyed him, at least how I played him. To be honest, I played him like I play Hawk in Dragon Age 2. Shepard always had this aura of confidence in all he does, either as a hero of the human race and as a supervillain. With these characters I played him a bit more insecure and make a lot of jokes. This makes it easy to believe that he has a lot to prove to fulfill the hopes everybody has in him. I'm really happy that they decided to go away from the Renegade Paragon system, as that always locked you down to get some important choices in tense moments, as it actively made me not want to choose between every situation individually. Like in this situation, this rogue outpost leader is about to be ambushed by a guy I did a few jobs for on the planet, and the obvious right thing to do would be saving her from the unfair duel, but really she did nothing for me and I don't like her or anything, so why get involved in any way? She surely is no saint herself.
Bang!
Choices in games are always better if you don't choose between good or bad. Being able to choose along the lines of your own morals and impressions is way more important and impressive. There shouldn't always be a way to solve a problem in a way that everybody gets what they want. I mean, that is kinda the reason why we were able to solve pretty much every problem in the universe before the ending of 3, really erasing the need to go back there for some time. I think Andromeda had two options to be more successful. Either be the most polished and perfected version of the old formula on the next generation, or go in a completely different direction. Why not focus on diplomacy, talking and exploration, like the initiative said they would? Instead we go back to shooting things in the first 20 minutes. I get that people want to shoot stuff, and that is why the cat are there, but if getting to a new galaxy is nothing more than leveling in an MMO, at least that is what it feels like, there is something wrong. This game has so many systems that are either badly assigned or shouldn't be there in the first place, that as time got on I started to ignore them more and more. Leveling your MC and crew? You can't tell your squad which moves to use, so you might as well just auto-level them, as until the later levels they're pretty much useless in fights and do the bare minimum, leaving you to clean up the wave of enemies. Andromeda enables you to use the known classes, switch between them and mix gameplay styles together, following the proof system at getting better the more you use a certain ability type. In the past you were inclined to use the right skill to get rid of higher health, armor or biotic barriers, as they all had weaknesses, but this game is balanced in a way that is aware of the fact that your useless squad has, so you never really have to change your class or pay attention in fights, just bring everything down as fast as possible. Developing armor, weapons and upgrades is all done using the station on your ship, and not only do you need to collect chemicals on planets and via probes to build them, but before you even do that you gotta unlock the blueprints with points you get while doing quests. These menus aren't the best, and with different versions of the same stuff the list gets long pretty fast. In my case I just got the original N7 armor and never looked back at the system. As an additional source of money and resources you are able to unfreeze more people from cryosleep as you do more tasks and more outposts are created. Why you always have to come back after some hours to collect the stuff? I don't know. And of course we can't forget the tagged on multiplayer and WoW mission mode no Mass Effect fan asked for. Look, I know that the multiplayer mode in 3 was pretty good and BioWare did a lot of updates to support it, but if you're already crunching to get the single player mode ready for release, maybe cut it and think about adding it later. I know why EA didn't want that, as the strike team missions give you loot boxes you can use in the single player, and you're, let's say, inclined to play the higher tier missions yourself, as the offline way takes like 8 hours to complete and only gives you a chance of success. Spending money in multiplayer somehow makes this process way faster. I wonder why. If I had to bring my feelings in order while playing through this adventure, it would be something along the lines of the following. At first, I was really surprised how much I liked the game. Maybe because I missed the franchise, maybe because the worst bugs were already patched, or maybe because the internet once again made things seem worse than they are. In the middle stretch, I really burned out on the open world formula, and the lack of new ideas and things to do. After 20 hours, I really was ready for things to come to an end, but the mission just kept coming, with things popping up I had to do before the main quest continued. I really started to skip doing the side missions that weren't crew related and did the bare minimum to get the 100% on each planet.
What a shame.
As soon as I pressed the button to start the mission that would end the main questline, something happened that I didn't think was possible. I started to get invested in the world and characters. BioWare's ending sequences are always the same, but man, they are done to perfection. I really want to compare it to the way Marvel writes its superhero movies, a formula that works in a way that makes you forget about the things that didn't work or you didn't like. The way everything comes together, you going to the place you talked about the whole game, almost losing to the bad guy, giving a big dumb speech.
Is this where I give a speech? Ask you to die for me? No thanks. I say we shove the remnant down the Archon's throat. And maybe that buys us a chance. All of us. We get the whole cluster to pile on. Everyone in Helios has earned some fucking payback.
Talking to everybody, getting them ready to fight. Getting help from everybody you met along the way, and finally beating the bad guy in a giant monster form. It just always feels good. Maybe because that's the adventure dream we want to have. Anyway, for me, the final chapter kicked the game from like 6 out of 10 to probably a 7.5 out of 10. Man, it really managed to make me want to know where this story would go after this victory and how the decisions I made would shape up the world in the sequels. Teasing the DLC and the ending is really funny, but I guess hindsight is 20/20 and all that. Everything started to remind me of Mass Effect 1, a clunky, ugly game that managed to charm me with its universe and characters, wanting more, just better. Getting this in the form of one of my all-time favorites, Mass Effect 2, was a dream come true, and I really wish history would have repeated itself. Alas, we won't be seeing the Andromeda galaxy, maybe never? As sadly a failure everybody was seeing coming, still disappointed EA enough to cryo-freeze the whole IP and get BioWare to work on their answer to Destiny, Anthem. I hope it's successful enough to keep BioWare going, but from the footage we saw, I can't get my hopes up, and fear that we have another Visceral Games at our hands, as most of the talent that didn't leave after Mass Effect 3 certainly packed up after this. Maybe years will go by until we can start to reach the stars again.